Hey, what's up, Shining Otaku? It's Cloud9 here today with yet another Your Manga Sucks Writing Edition video. Today we're going to talk about transformations and power-ups, which, I'm not going to lie, it is a cliche, but it's probably one of my favorite cliches in manga, period. I'm sure most of you guys out there will agree with that. I mean, most of us out there have probably grown up with seeing like a sweet transformation and, whatever your favorite shonen series is, if you're a fan of like shonen action manga. So this is going to be a little bit more geared towards that, but this is something that will not just apply to shonen action series, but can apply really to any type of manga or story you're doing. I think what a lot of people out there, or creators in general, don't really understand is what a transformation actually is. So what a transformation actually should be is the visual representation of a character's inner development. So if, let's say, we take, your classic shonen action series, right? Let's take an example that we probably use quite a bit. I'll say Dragon Ball, right? The most iconic transformation in probably all of anime and manga is the Super Saiyan transformation. And if you look at the Super Saiyan transformation, right, of course it's sweet, what Goku can do, he gets stronger and all this, right? But one of the things that made that transformation have the kind of impact it did when it occurred was everything that took place before and then what happened in the moment to reward the reader with that representation of what Goku was to Frieza, which was of course the villain of the arc that the transformation took place. So if we look at an example like with Goku in the Frieza arc, right, we can say at this point in the story, he was confronting the villain who was the harbinger, the tyrant, the destroyer to his heritage, right? Now, Goku was never a character who was really super in touch with his heritage, right? I mean, we know, and he didn't even know what he was in the Saiyan arc until Raditz showed up, and even then, he didn't really seem like he really was raring to connect with, his Saiyan heritage. It didn't really matter to him. It wasn't like how Vegeta is, right? But of course, with this particular arc, of course, you have, more interaction with Goku and Vegeta. Of course, there's still that clash, and you even have that promise that Vegeta asked Goku at his death in the Frieza arc, right? All of these pieces that happened with Goku coming in touch with his Saiyan heritage and the promise, of course, and that whole thing that happened are all representation of the Super Saiyan transformation. The Super Saiyan transformation is directly linked with Goku's heritage. And of course, losing Krillin at the hands of Frieza, who was connected to Goku all the way back in the beginning, of course, of Dragon Ball, to his childhood, was the linchpin that set him off to reach that new form. It wasn't just about Goku having a hard time or getting beat up, because Goku's gotten beat up, thrashed, and thrown around dozens of different times, right? But what made that transformation have that impact was the development that happened. To give you I would say an even greater example, right? And this isn't to say which transformation is better, but just think it's an example that some of you may be able to understand that's a little bit more clear, would probably be Gohan's transformation, right? Now, I'm a big Gohan fan, I'm not gonna lie, but with Gohan's transformation, if you look at the type of character he was a character that didn't like to fight. He didn't want to hurt anybody, but he was known for having great power, right? Even from the beginning of his introduction, that's what we saw about his character, and they hyped up from the beginning. And when he was put in a situation where he had to then choose between either letting those people around him die or deciding to actually use that power to hurt someone, which is something that he doesn't want to do, to fight, right? He had to make that crucial decision. It wasn't about him just getting beat up, because again, he's gotten beat up and been in difficult situations before. But once he broke through that wall within himself, that's when he had that Super Saiyan 2 transformation. And that's what made that stick and make it iconic and make it sweet for you to be able to relate to and to really, engage with, right? That's what makes transformations, in my opinion, really cool, right? And of course, if you look at Dragon Ball further online, now this isn't meant to, talk about like Dragon Ball Super like in a derogatory way, but if you look at some of the later transformations, they didn't quite have the same kind of weight. Now, transformations can be something that is either a positive change or a negative change. It doesn't necessarily have to be something, like the character made a change that was more on them becoming something greater, right? If we look at for example, in Naruto, right, which is my favorite manga series of all time, I'll be honest with you. If you look at Naruto, in the beginning of the series, especially towards like the part 2 of Naruto, or actually within part 2, you see Naruto kind of going more of an inner struggle and beginning to give into the Nine Tails power, but more in a negative sense. Not just giving into it because, I can't beat my opponent, but more or less because of his own inner struggles, his own hate from his previous struggle as a character with being shunned by the village. And that's what made him go down at more of a negative path and have this raging nine-tailed form, right? It's all about representation. Transformations also don't always have to be something that has like this sweet type of look, right? Like, because of course we're talking about shonen like action series kind of in this instance, right? But it could even be something like a character going through a moment maybe in their life where maybe maybe they want to improve their health, right? And maybe they're wanting to improve their confidence, so that character and they decide to work out or maybe change the way they dress or they look, and that attitude change within them is now representation of who they are. It's always about that visual representation when you're doing the transformations. It's not about just looking cool for the moment or having a moment, to kind of look sweet. One of the biggest things I hear people talk about with Fairy Tail. Now, I'm not an avid reader of Fairy Tail, so I can't really say that I know about this from a personal standpoint, but from what a lot of people that I hear mention about Fairy Tail, is one of the biggest problems is the Nakama power-ups or the friendship power-ups. And that's not Fairy Tail's not the only series that does that. There's a lot of anime that do that, and a lot of manga that have done that. And that's not something that you want to see happen. You don't want to just have a power-up just because Anyway, guys, thank you for joining today's video. If you did enjoy today's video, go ahead and give it a surging thumbs up and subscribe to Shining Otaku if you want to see more content going forward. Just don't forget to hit that notifications bell so that way you get all the updates as they come out. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later. So as a result, now they've got a new transformation, right? That would be an okay situation to have that. What a Nakama power, friendship power, what I would consider that to be, would be a situation where that character is already gone through that development, but they're continuing to react in the exact same way, but get rewarded for it as a result. So if we are, as the reader, already know this character cares about their friends and they haven't really been shaken off or changed in that aspect of themselves, then to give them a power-up for friendship over and over and over and over and over again, then that's just watered down, that's overused, and frankly, then at that point, it's not going to have any impact to the reader. So just be really careful if you are doing a transformation, whether it be in the typical classic shonen like action series, or it be in maybe a drama story that transformation, or maybe that wardrobe change, or that look in that character be something that is a a representation of their development and not just a representation of their current struggle that they want to get out of. They have to develop in order to earn that transformation, whether it be for good or for bad. So I just want to stress that, because that's really what's going to make the transformation stick and make it iconic and make it something that people are going to love just as much as you love it. Anyway, guys, if you found this video helpful, make sure you give this video a like and share this with any writers who you think could use this video as well. And you want to get updates on any of the new content that we upload, whether it be the Your Manga Sucks videos, which we do bi-weekly, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you get any notifications that come through. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later.